Okay, has anybody here ever had an idea? Okay, terrific. So, are they particularly hard to have? I mean, when you had an idea, were you trying to, when you were having your idea, were you trying to squeeze it over your head? What was going on? How did you have an idea? Because you said you had one. How did you do it? What was the trick?
I thought of it.
So, was it an effortless thing for you?
Pretty much.
So, what were you doing when it happened? Do you remember?
I don't know, I was born. Probably just born and then I thought of something.
Just born and thought of something. Yeah, okay. Who gets their ideas when they're supposed to be trying to get to sleep? So, like middle of the night, that kind of stuff. Who gets them when you're doing something really boring? Like, what sort of things that you do that are really boring and you have ideas while you're doing them?
When I'm waiting for my mum to finish work.
Yeah, so you're waiting for your mum, and what happens? Your brain just starts to go, ding, 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 and all these ideas start coming out. Who gets them on the toilet? Or the shower, or the bathroom, or exercise, long drives? Why do you think that is? I mean, I'm going to show you how to have lots of ideas, but given that you already know how to have ideas, what is it you think is happening in your brain when you're relaxing or when you're on the toilet or you're waiting for your mum because she's doing some boring work or whatever? What do you think is happening that stimulates the brain to have ideas? Any thoughts? What are you thinking?
You're thinking about stuff that you're doing.
So it might be like a problem or an issue. Who's ever solved a problem in their sleep? Like something that was really bothering you, and then at 2 o'clock in the morning you just said, bang, I've got it, I've got an idea. Have you ever seen someone have an idea in front of you? They're entirely shocked that they're having one. Have you seen it? It's like they're just going, oh my God, what's happening? I'm having an idea. So I'm going to show you how to crank up that part of your brain to just generate more and more ideas than you'll know what to do with. Then I'm going to show you how to turn ideas into plans. Then I'm going to show you how to pick plans that you want to spend some time with. Does that make some sense to you guys? So we're going to go through a little bit of a short circuit process of what this year is going to be about. One of my favourite inventors, a guy called Thomas Edison, he says that necessity was the mother of invention, but irritation is the father. Being annoyed by something is the beginning of creating change. So here's what I'm going to do. I want you to make a small team of 3 or 4 people. So just turn around, find some people, right? Just one. Okay, there's a team. Here's a team, here's a team, there's a team over there, there's a team over there. Even people up the back, you can't escape. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to find a physical object, not a person, a physical object that you find annoying. It could be glasses or the chair or something in your pocket. It could be an object in this room. You've got 10 seconds as a group to find a physical object. Go. In the room, yeah. And it's got to be something you can have with your hand. Okay. So what have we got? What did you guys pick? What did you pick? The bell. You guys have picked that bell. That's the thing. Okay, we're going to go with the phone. That's fine. The bell would have been more interesting, but that's fine. We'll go with the phone. So these guys, I'm going to give them 5 minutes to be irritated by their phone. I'm going to give them 5 minutes to make the longest list they can of why it annoys them. What did you guys pick?
Bottle caps.
Fantastic. So why the bottle cap is annoying, I want 30, 40, 50 reasons why you hate it. How about you guys? Okay, the plastic bottle, again, I want a long list. Over here, what did you pick? Earphones. So you guys will be irritated by earphones. How about you guys? What did you choose? Water bottle. What did you choose? Everybody hates water bottles. That's fine. What did you guys choose over here? Them. Okay, fantastic. So here's what I want you to do. Guys, listen up. Here's what I want you to do. You've got... They're off already. You've got 5 minutes. I want the longest list you can. If you've got pen and paper, even better, write them down. I want a long list of grievances. Go. Three, two, one. Time's up. Who has a long list of complaints? Who's got a really long list of grievances with their object? Anybody? Who we got? Yes, sir. So we can get up for... Okay.
I've got like 10, like more than 10.
Okay, 10. Get up here, dude. Come on, come up. Bring it up here, bring it up here. Big hand for the team over here, please, ladies and gentlemen. So, what you hated was...
The bottle cap.
Bottle cap. Okay, go.
Few ideas.
Oh no, what's wrong with it?
Oh yeah. What's wrong with it? Is time consuming. It's hard. Plastic. Sustainability of the bottle cap.
Yep.
Not interchangeable.
Yep, does that.
Exactly. It does do that.
Terrible.
Size. Can be extremely tight, hard to take off.
Yes.
Etc. Etc.
Beautiful.
Stuff. Yeah.
Okay, do we agree? Good complaints? Give them up some love. All right, okay. If I gave this back to these guys and said, you're right, the thing that you're complaining about is absolutely crap, could you invent something better?
Yeah.
If I gave you the time and the space and the freedom to improve that and make it better, do you think you could do it, yes or no? Yeah. Do you think they could do it, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, they could. Fantastic. Hold that thought. Let's do one more. Who else has got one? Yes. Give it up some love for the phone people over here. Come on. Yay. It's very delicate. Okay, tell us what's wrong with it.
They're too delicate.
Too delicate. Oh, it's the cover is your problem.
Yeah, oh no, it's the phone.
Okay, it's the whole phone. Go.
Bad battery life, cases aren't protected, expensive to buy, expensive.
Listen up, guys.
They
Yep.
overheat, the cables break, and they're becoming the size of TVs.
Okay, would you agree? Are these good grievances? Give them some love. Okay. Now hold that thought. I want you to read that list again. I want you guys to see if any thoughts are popping up in your brains. Does anybody have any ideas when they hear this kid gripe? You ready? Do it again, but slowly. Go.
Too delicate.
And
Bad battery life,
And?
cases aren't protected, expensive to buy, expensive to run, they overheat, the cable breaks, and the size of TVs.
Okay, stop. Has anyone just had any ideas? What are some of the ideas that automatically you can think of because you've heard the complaint? Yeah.
Some of them are preventable, almost.
Yeah, that's right. So all of a sudden, what if you said too delicate? What an idea might be is make them less delicate. Too big an idea might be make them smaller. Too expensive idea might be make them cheaper. Does that make some sense? How about some love for the team over here? Come on. So here's what we're going to do. This is James Dyson. This is the guy that says, I'm looking for things that annoy people so I can fix them. So the easiest way to become an entrepreneur, the easiest way to innovate is to improve something that's broken. Would you agree that you've found something that's broken? Yes or no? You found something that doesn't work. So I'm going to give you a set of questions and then I'm going to let you guys just go nuts. In fact, after I've shown you these questions, I'm going to want 50 ideas. 50 improvements on the bottle top, 50 improvements on the phone, 50 improvements on the bell or whatever we're doing. Do you think you're up for that? Let's see. Okay. One of the first things that we do when we try to improve something is we add stuff to it. Who's ever seen a Swiss Army knife or is familiar with the concept of the Swiss Army knife? Thank you. This kid's on fire. She's great. Okay. This is the original Swiss Army knife. It was called the officer's knife. It had 4 tools in it. It was incredibly popular. The one that came out after World War II had 6 tools. The one that came out in 1991 had 12 tools. I'm going to show you the one they launched in 2006. This is not Photoshop. This is a real product. This is the Giant. This knife weighs 2.5 kilos. It's 9 inches thick. You can't stick it in a pocket. You can barely lift it. Right? Do you think that just adding stuff is a limited strategy? After a while you think, well, we could add stuff. What else could we do? What's the next obvious thing to do? Take stuff away. Who plays basketball? Okay, you're going to love this. This guy here, James Naismith. This is the guy who invented basketball. That's the original guy and the original basket and the original ball. He took some peach baskets and he nailed them to walls and you would bounce the ball and throw it in. Then you had to stop, get a ladder, climb up the ladder, get the ball out, throw the ball back in, put the ladder away and have another game. Can you see where the problem might have been? He was missing something, right? 2 years later, they invented the rope basket. It still had a bottom in it. But you pull a string and the ball would pop out, and if you had a hook and a stick, you could pull the net back down again. It was an improvement, but I had a feeling we could do better. It was 21 years before anyone cut a hole in the bottom of the basket. So look at the thing that doesn't work and ask, what could we add? What could we subtract? Well, wait, we're just getting started. What about divide? When I was a kid, that was the plan to go to the moon. We were going to build one great big ship and take it all the way there and all the way back. This is actually how we did it. Some ideas work better in pieces. Have you ever heard that expression, best thing since sliced bread? We're still talking about sliced bread, and that was 1926. There are so many ideas that work better in pieces. Toilet rolls work better in pieces. Chocolate works better in pieces. Mechanical pencils work better in pieces. Modern modular furniture works better in pieces. So we could add, we could subtract, we could divide, we could multiply. That is Ciacinte grass. It's a wild grass. That's what the Incas did to it. It's the same plant to scale. Do you see what they did? They picked the bits that they liked the most of and they got more of them. Would you agree that that's multiply? So add, subtract, divide, multiply. There's 4 questions we could ask about the vacuum cleaner or the bottled water or the phone. But we ain't finished yet. Do you realise, who's got a pet dog? Do you realise you all have the same species of dog? There's only one species of dog. They're all variants of the grey wolf. Everything from the Great Dane to the mighty Chihuahua is just a variant of the same animal. And the 4 questions we ask is, if we change the size, could we change the shape? Could we change the look? Could we change what it does? Would you agree that we've produced an enormous number of dogs from just 4 questions? Could you ask those same questions of the plastic bottle? Could you ask the same questions of the mobile phone or anything else? What do you think, yes or no? Yeah. Okay, we're only just getting started. Check this out. Sticky notes. Have you noticed the evolution of the sticky note? It's undergone exactly the same evolution as dogs. We've changed the shape, we've changed the colour, we've changed the use, we've changed the look. Can innovation be this easy? Oh yes, it can. Okay, this is the Lazy Susan. It was invented by Thomas Jefferson. I don't know who Susan was or what his problem with her was, right? This is Thomas Jefferson's first invention. I'm going to show you his second invention and you tell me what he did. You ready? First invention, second invention. What did Thomas Jefferson do? He sat on his first invention. He said, what else could I do with this? That's a great inventor's question. Once it does one thing, could it do another thing? It's what we call an extension. An extension is when you take an idea and find the next version of it. How cool is this idea? You take batteries and energy drinks and you bring them together. You've extended 2 ideas at once. Yeah, wouldn't that be wild? I'd be drinking Duracell. Okay. I'm going to tell you a story from the 70s. Some of the older people here might remember this, but for you kids, it'll take a lot of explaining. There's a guy who's trying to get to the bank. We used to have a thing called banks, right? He's running to the bank with a cheque. We used to have things called cheques, which was paper money that was, you could turn into real money, right? He gets to the bank on Friday and it closes, and he's really frustrated because he's going to have no cash for the weekend. He does have just enough money though to buy a drink. And so he puts coins in a machine and he pulls out a drink. And then he invents something. Would you like to guess what he invented? ATM. You just did in your head what inventors do all the time. You took 2 ideas and you linked them together. Who's seen chess boxing?
What?
Chess boxing. Yes, my friends, it's a thing. This is huge in Eastern Europe. It's 1 round of punching and 1 round of checkmaking, another round of punching, right? This is enormous. You've taken 2 ideas and linked them. Do you see what inventors do? We take 2 things and we combine them. Okay. Could we... This one's not real, this one I made up. But wait, it'll be real soon. This is what we call a swap. What if you took out what is normally used and put in something else? What if we found a better way to hydrate than using plastic bottles? What if we found a better way to communicate than the phone? See what I'm doing? Take it away, put something else in its place. Flip. When I was a kid, that's what iPods looked like. Who remembers these? And every year they got bigger and heavier and dumber, and then one day a company called Sony, who made electric rice cookers, thought, has anyone thought of doing the precise opposite? Make them smaller, make them cheaper, make them lighter, make them dumber. See what they've done? By going the exact opposite direction, you create a whole new industry. And this happens time and time again. Honda has just invented a plane that's got the engines on the wings, on top of the wings. And it was created because the engineers looked at the plans upside down. And they had the thing half built before they realised it was a mistake. But it turns out it's a better way of building a plane. Go figure. Graphite, graphene, this is the same molecule. This one will make pencils, that one's going to make the Mars colony. Sometimes just by rearranging something, you get a superior idea, right? Play-Doh. Do you know Play-Doh was invented to get soot off wallpaper? That was the original idea. When people used to have open fireplaces, soot would get on wallpaper. Play-Doh was invented and you would roll it on the wallpaper to get the soot off. And the guy who invented it lost his entire family fortune. Nobody wanted it. But he married a kindergarten teacher. And she looked at this and she said, my kids will eat this stuff up. Literally. Everything on that list was invented for a completely different reason than what we use it for. How cool is that? Could we find another use? Can we find a better use? Could we simplify it? Is it too complicated? Too many bits, too many parts, too many steps? What would Blackadder do? What would Putin do? What would North Korea do? What would Cleopatra do? What would Judge Judy do? See it through a different set of eyes. Give it a new ability. Make it transferable or portable or modular or collapsible or telescopable. Right? Make it scalable or rearrangeable. Who knows what shreddies are? Ah, you've been to England, so tell me about shreddies. It's a type of cereal. The English love shreddies. It's a shredded wheat biscuit in a square. It's very exciting, right? Sales had been going down for years and years and years. Nobody liked shreddies. Shreddies were boring. So the shreddies company went to the agency and said, we want people to see shreddies at a brand new light, but you can't change them. Don't change anything, but make people see shreddies in a brand new way. This is what the agency came up with, and this, my friends, is sheer genius. New diamond shreddies. Sales went up 18% for 3 years. People were so excited at brand new shreddies. And you know what? Once the joke started to wear off, they came out with the combo pack. So, here's what we're going to do. You've got some smart people in your group, and you've got a thing that you think doesn't work. Agreed? So you guys have the, what was your thing?
Seatbelts.
Seatbelts, and you've got the mobile phone, and you've got bottled water, and you had the vacuum cleaner, and you had contact lens. Oh, ripper. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to consider what could we add or subtract or divide or multiply with contact lenses or the vacuum cleaner or bottled water or seatbelts, right? Could we change the look, the shape, the size, the colour? Could we simplify them? Could we give them new abilities? Could we change the frequency, the speed, the dimension? Could we spin them like shreddies? Could we get Blackadder to think about it instead? Could we flip it? Could we go back to square one? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to spend 5 minutes with the smart people in this room and this thing that we think is stupid and Uncle Jace's crazy questions. Here's what we're going to do, guys. Pen, paper, 5 minutes. I need 50 ideas. Okay, yeah, no, we'll make it 60. I need 60 ideas. I want you to write them down. I don't need to know how we're going to pay for them. I don't even need to know if they're possible. Can we do this? Yes or no? Go. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay. So, show of hands, did anybody have any ideas? Did you find that particularly difficult to do? Really? Once you got started, it got easier? Yeah. Now, my mate Jay over here, where are you, Jay? Jay's had a great idea. Jay thinks that these slides should be made available to you. What do you think? Good idea?
Yeah.
Give it up for Jay. Come on, give it up. Okay. Before we start hearing the kind of craziness that's been going on in the room, can I just get your comments on, did you notice any change in the conversation that you were having? Did you notice anything strange about it? If I was to plot your thinking over that 5-minute period, and so this was time elapsed, and this is just my measure of strangeness, how would you have charted the conversation? What happened? Which path did it take? Did it go up? So what you're saying is it kind of started off a bit ordinary, and then it got weird, and then it just got really, really weird. Is that what happened? Is that what happened to most of you? Yeah. Why does that happen, do you think? Why do we start with things which are a bit obvious and then we open up to things which are nuts? Yes, sir?
Maybe because we're not used to having crazy big ideas.
Yeah. Do you know what? This is what we're used to. That's the bit we're used to. And that's what we learn to do at school and everything else, and it's fantastic. But then when you get out of this and you go, there's a whole other bunch of stuff we haven't talked about yet. Any other reason why we start with obvious stuff? Yeah.
Because we don't know what's not obvious.
We don't know what's not obvious. Obvious is that's the stuff we know, so we begin there. Any other reason, do you think? Yes, sir?
Those are the first things that come to your head.
Yeah, that's right. So you know what? We need to kind of get that stuff out, and then our minds can start to say, we've done the obvious stuff, what else is there? Would it be fair to typify the ideas as this, that the early stuff is a bit dull, and the stuff in the middle is kind of interesting, and then it kind of gets weird? Is there any value going to crazy? Is there any value really going nuts? You're nodding. Tell me, why do you think we should go crazy?
Because then you can control the idea and come back.
That is such a good insight. We could take nutty ideas and we can tone them down again, which is what you're going to end up doing during this year. I'd rather you took a crazy idea and tamed it than try to get a boring idea and make it interesting. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah. Really nice work. Anything else? Any other value in going out there? Yeah.
No one else would have done your comment.
That's right. You know what? Because only crazy people go out here. Right, but this is where the future is. Who's got a phone? Someone's bound to have one of these damn things. Just, here we go. This lady's got one right here. Oh, she's just teasing me. Okay.
He'll pour it out on the...
If I could go... Don't let him do. If I could go back in time with this thing, how far back would I have to go for people to think it was crazy?
20 years.
Who reckons like 10 years? Not even. If I took this thing back 50 or 100 years, I'd be burnt as a witch. This used to be crazy. Now it's obvious. Do you see how this works? So thank you for that. Okay, cool. So who wants to share some of their ideas? Who wants to put something out there? These guys do. So can we give them some encouragement? Let's go! So you guys with a mobile phone, let her rip.
Okay, so you add another,
Listen up, guys. Listen up and go.
add another screen, make them smaller, circle phone parachutes, put a 4K camera on it, change the I in iPhone to an exclamation mark,
Question mark phone.
make the phone two multiple phones joinable, make one phone modular, put a 3D printer on it, make it into a phone drone,
Oh, I like where that's going.
a Swiss Army phone, and put a subwoofer on it.
Beautiful. What do we think? Did you realise that drone phone wasn't the first idea? What was the first idea? Stick a thing on it.
Another screen.
Put another screen on it. Do you see what I mean? We'd actually need time to get our minds to warm up. Let's do another one. Who else has got a list of things? Okay, let's get some love for the group over here at the back here. I'm looking at you guys. Yay! Come on, go, 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 go. What was your thing, firstly?
Water bottle.
Water bottle. Let her rip. Go.
So it's not affected by heat. It can fit into a bag. So, and then we have more taps so we use less plastic. The water should be free. And we can make water bottles that fit for a purpose. So like for a businessman, he can fit into his pocket between meetings.
Nice.
For a hiker, he can fit into his bags. And for women, they can fit into their handbags.
Beautiful. What do we think? Yes! And I want to find out how my earphone team went. What was happening with the earphones? Because those things drive me crazy. Go.
We got double earphones, so there's 4 buds that you can not even listen.
Thank you.
Wireless, different shaped buds, they automatically fit into your ears. Elastic wires that zoom back into like a little baggy kind of thing, so they're really small. Sound comes out of like all around with the earphone, not just one
Yes.
spot.
Yes. Yes.
A sound projector, so like you can say exactly what the sound will be, and it senses what sound you want it. Various length and chords, voice commands so you can tell to mute or play. Keeper. That's yeah.
Beautiful. What do we think? Yes? Okay. So, if I was to tell you that anybody can do this, everybody can do this, it's the easiest thing in the world, would you believe me?
Yeah.
This is pretty straightforward. Do you know my local shopping centre had closed for the day? And there was a mother and a little girl. The girl must have been about 4 years old. And they're looking in the dress shop window, and the mum's got her nose up against the glass. The little girl put her fingers on the glass and did that. And it didn't work, so then she started doing this. And you realise that this is our natural state. This is what we do all the time. It's only that we're told that things aren't possible that we learn not to think of these things. What do you think about that? Does that make some sense? Okay. In another session, we're going to look at design. And design is how do you take all the crazy ideas and make them fit in a small space? This is what the process will look like. What you've just done is this. Right, so that's time and this is your mind. And you've thought bigger and crazier and wilder. Does that make sense? You've had what we call a divergent experience. You're going crazy with your friends. Most of us work in this space where we're coming up to the exam time, we're coming up to the deadline, it's Friday afternoon, I've got to get everything ready. Do you recognise this crunch space? Where we haven't got time for ideas, we just have to knuckle down and get it done. Who recognises this space? Right. Entrepreneurs actually work in both spaces. And this is the way we tend to think of it. Is that you imagine, you develop, you evaluate and you act. In the imagination phase, we're doing what we just did now. Can you see any value in having lots of ideas? Somebody asked Edison, how many crazy ideas do you have to have before you found the right one? He said, all of them. It's about having tons and tons and tons of, not one perfect thought, it's about having 1 million thoughts and then bringing them back down again. The process we're going to be doing with our friends back here is going to look a bit like this. We're going to spend some time imagining. You've got, what, 2 weeks to just think of any idea you like, everything, it's all up for grabs. Then we're going to start developing ideas. Which one of these would really make sense? And then we're going to start to evaluate them. Which ones are worth more of your time? Which ones are worth taking the risk? And the ones that pass that test are the ones we act on. Can you see some sense in that? So we're not just going butcher's paper crazy the whole time. We're going to go out there for a while, but then we're going to start bringing this topic in. So, one more thing I have to show you. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you some ideas from a previous workshop. And I want you to make a sound that just tells me what you think about these ideas. Can you do it? So, yeah, exactly. Okay, so idea number 1, you ready? The hover beetle, go. Okay, I would have thought they kind of liked that idea. It was that sort of sound, right? So it was like, that was encouraging. Idea number 2 is the solar Rolex. This is a sundial on a wristwatch. So idea number 1 was, and idea number 2 was, idea number 3, the hand dial. Now you see, people for my age and older are going, actually that's quite nice. And the texting generation are going, how do I communicate? How do I do that? Okay, the pine onion. This is an onion pineapple hybrid. Not sure. Idea number 5, the alpha keyboard. It's a keyboard in alphabetical order. Yes! Finally. Okay, I think I've got a winner. Idea number 6 is the baby Victor. What do we think? Ideal Father's Day gift? No? Okay. And idea number 7 is the video wave. It's a microwave TV. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I've presented you with 7 very different ideas. Very different ideas. And they differ on 2 respects. They're of different value and they're of different effort. Some of these are going to be really easy to do. Some are going to be very hard. Some of them are worth a lot of energy and some of them aren't. So what we're going to do really quickly is this. I'm going to give you 3 minutes with the people you were just working with. So you guys, I want you to rank these ideas, but only in one dimension, which is how cool is it? If I had these things ready to go, and I've worked out all the finance and all the legalities and all the third-party insurance stuff. How cool would it be? If you think these ideas are great, give it a 10. So any idea here you like, if it's a great idea, give it a 10. If it's a bad idea, give it a 0. 5 is like it's tricky, 3 is like ideal Father's Day gift. Do not rank these, guys. Do not rank these in terms of effort. I'm not asking about how hard or how expensive or how unethical. I'm just asking how cool. You've got 3 minutes to rank them. Go. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. All right. Do you think that you guys have got a rough idea about which of these you think are really good and which of these you think aren't so good? Have you got a rough idea about that? Yeah? I mean, you might still be arguing about 1 or 2 of them, but are there a few that you think, no, we agree that that's a great idea, we agree that that's a bad idea, and we're arguing some in the middle? Is that about right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Now, I want you to plug that number. Treat this like a game show. Lock those numbers in, because now I need to ask you a different question. How hard would these things be? How difficult would they be? Do you think there's going to be questions asked in Parliament about the baby Victor? Do you think that typists around the world will take to the streets in protest of the Alpha Board? Do you think we're going to have a problem producing traffic in 3 dimensions? Hover beetles, my friend, hover beetles. So I'm going to give you another 3 minutes, but now the question is different. How hard? If you think this idea is easy, give it a 0. It's no sweat. If you think this idea is impossible, give it a 10. It's no way. Everything else is a degree of difficulty. So the harder it is, the higher the number. Can you do this for me? Yes. Yes, go. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. So, do you have a rough idea about which of these thoughts are hard and which ones are easy? Yeah. You got a rough idea. Okay, check this out, my friends. If we now drew up a grid and said, well, some of these ideas must be high value, low effort. Like, this is a really good idea and it wouldn't be that hard to do. Have a look at your list. Is there anything that as a group you thought, actually, I could see that we could do that fairly easily? Are there any candidates for high value, low effort? Yes, sir.
I thought the Alpha keyboard.
What did your companions think over here? Same thing? See, he's taking credit for all your work. That's just no cool. So did you guys feel that the Alpha board was going to be high value, low effort?
Yeah.
Well, don't commit too much. It's cool. So what advice would you give me to any idea that was high value, low effort? Let me spell it out for you. High value, low effort. What would you like to do with that kind of idea? Would you like to pursue that idea? Were there any other candidates for that quadrant? Which ones did you see? The video wave. Now, tell me why would that be valuable? Because I think you're right, but why?
I think it'd be good because then when you were waiting for your food to warm up, you can watch it.
Yeah, and you know what you could watch? You could watch the cooking show while watching what you were cooking. I mean, what's not to like about that? Why would the video wave, why would it be easy? We're just sticking 2 things together. We've already got the bits. So again, what advice would you give me for, let's say, the video wave? If your analysis is correct, what advice would you give this young entrepreneur? Wouldn't we say, go for it? This is how you pick good ideas. But wait, there's more. What about this? High value, high effort. Great idea, but oh my God. Any takers?
Hover beetle.
Hover beetle. Who saw hover beetle as, it's a great idea, but we're not going to get that done by Friday? Okay, nice. So what advice would you give me for a high value but high effort idea? Chuck it? Oh, tell me, what do I do with it? Yes, sir.
You need to take time with it.
Yeah. So would that be my first thing that I would do? I'd be doing that one first, wouldn't I? I'd be doing the easy one and then I'd be working up to the hard one. What do you think? Is this good advice? Anything up in there you'd either work up to or scale down. Yes, sir, you had a point.
Well, I was going to say, if you get more effort at the end of it, it's going to be higher value than what it originally was.
Yeah, that's right. So you've actually got to calculate the payoff, don't you? How long am I going to fight this thing before I think, you know what, there was an easier idea? And that's great, because it doesn't mean that we don't do those ideas, but we really look for all of the ideas that we've got and find the easiest place to start and then build together the resources and the confidence to do the bigger stuff. Does that make some sense to you guys? Yeah. Very nice. Okay. Low value, low effort. Does anybody here do any kind of surfing or like water sports, skiing, any of that kind of stuff? Who gets out in the ocean with a wetsuit? Okay. Who's ever pissed in a wetsuit? Okay, thank you. It's not relevant. I was just interested. This here... Sorry, that was mean. We're cool. This is what we call the wetsuit area. Some ideas are just easy to do and they give you a nice warm feeling, but they're of questionable value to others in the long term, right? So are there any ideas that you'd put in that wetsuit area? Where you could do it, but why would you bother? Yes?
Oh, I was going to say solar power or something like that. But
Or like the solar Rolex?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could knock that up pretty quickly, couldn't we?
Well, yeah.
Would anybody want one?
No.
Bow, bow.
Well, I was thinking more for like heat.
Yeah, but you know how we've got to make sure we don't get seduced by how easy it is? Because if it's not worthwhile, why bother? Yes, ma'am?
The baby Victor.
Baby Victor, we reckon we could knock one of those up pretty quickly. We don't think anyone would put their kid in it. I'm with you. Yes, sir?
The alpha board is my thought.
Yeah, but see, the thing is that as an entrepreneur, you make the decision about which one that I want to do. So what advice would you give me for an idea that was down here? It was an easy thing to do, but it's probably nobody wants it. What advice would you give me? Would I just store it, forget it, maybe try and have a better idea? What would you suggest? Yes, sir?
Make it better or forget it.
Gee, you're on fire, because guess what? That's it. Either you rethink it to make it a better idea without making it harder. This guy knows how it's done. Either you push it up there or you forget it and have another idea. And that's the thing, I guess, that Heather and Jen are saying. Don't fall in love with one idea. Prepare to have lots and lots and lots of ideas. Do you think ideas work the first time? No. The second time? No. Third time? Maybe. Who knows why WD-40 is called WD-40? 40 attempts. WD-39 didn't work. WD-38 didn't work. W-37 was rubbish. I could keep going. It took 40 goes to get it right. Welcome to entrepreneurship. Yeah, it's about this constant struggling to make the thing happen. How about this? Low value, high effort. Bad idea, really hard. Any takers? Yeah.
The pine onion.
The pine onion. Can you imagine the fuss and the bother of the pine onion? 6 people would want one for pizzas and the rest of us would just think it was a frankenfood. So what advice would you give me with a low value, high effort idea? Wouldn't you just run screaming? I mean, seriously, this is going to exhaust you and give you nothing in return. Is this a way of looking at ideas? To say we could generate lots of ideas, but we can now also evaluate them, where we're going to put our time and energy? Yes, Jade?
You could also say if it is a high effort but low value, you can see how you can make it more of a value.
It's a lot of work though, isn't it? Like you're going to have to make it easier and better. If it was the only idea I'd have, that's what I would do. But if I had any idea sitting up in, say, here, guess what I'd be doing? I'd be working for the better idea. And sometimes we fall in love with the first idea and we chase it for too long. It can be better to go, you know what, let's think of every idea and then pick the winners. Does that make some sense to you guys? Are these the kind of tools you could use? Because this is what we're going to be doing during this whole year. Any questions about any of this so far? All silent, all done. Okay, I want to show you something else. I skipped over this because I didn't realise I had quite so much time as I've got, so this is very good news. Remember I told you about this. Is there a difference between coming up with ideas and developing them? What's the difference between just dreaming something and actually designing it? Yes, ma'am.
Designing it is putting it into perspective, and imagining it is just coming up with an idea.
So imagination is just, look, the pixies will make it work, it's going to be beautiful. Development is, no, there are no pixies. I have to make this work within a limited time and a limited framework and limited budget. Does that sound right to you guys? That's the key difference. Dreaming, imagining is unbounded. Everything is possible. Development is when you say, there are some limitations. Would you agree with that? It's the minute you put limitations in. So I'm going to show you how to think creatively within limits. I want to start for the Geelong area, I want to launch a new restaurant. Great new idea. So tell me, what would I need to build a restaurant? Just give me some thoughts. Just call out. Don't worry about the hands, just sing out. I need what? Pine onions. See, you're going to make my life hell, I can see already. So, okay, I've got pine onions. What else do I need for the business? People, so I need staff. What else? Equipment, money, what else? Advertising, people, what else? What?
Taste buds.
Taste buds. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Everyone who's sitting in this space, whether you're friends or not, I don't care, right? If you're sitting in this space, I'm going to ask you to create an idea for a restaurant. It's got to be, hang on, it's got to be fantastic. It's got to be wonderful. It's got to bring new life to Geelong. You can have anything you want, but you can't have staff. You're not allowed to employ people, but it still has to work and it still has to be awesome. Anyone sitting in over this area here, you can have staff, but you can't have a building. It can't exist in a space of any kind. You guys over here, you can have staff, you can have a building, but you can't have money. You guys have no power. You guys have no hygiene. You people have no, didn't mean that way, but you have no hygiene. You people have no customers. You people have no running water. Go. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay. Is it possible? Yes. Everything's possible. Do you know the guy who invented IKEA? A guy called Ingvar Kamprad. And he had this great idea. He was going to have this mail order system and you're going to go buy his furniture. But he upset the local Scandinavian furniture industry and they decided to ruin him. And they said, we're not going to make your furniture, we're not going to store your furniture, we're not going to transport your furniture. And poor Ingvar was thinking, who will build my furniture? And he said he would never have thought of the IKEA model if he hadn't lost the basic fundamentals of his business. Does that make some sense? It's only when you start to say that thing we would normally have, we ain't got, it forces you to become inventive. Yeah? So what did I take away from you guys with the restaurant?
Staff.
Staff. So tell me about your restaurant with no staff. Go.
Jason's vending machine food business.
So, sorry, so it's a whole, like it's a restaurant of vending machines? Is that how that works?
Automated vending machines, yeah.
Oh my God. And tell me about it. What can it do? What can
So you just put like $1 into it and then like a whole pizza comes out and then it has like a conveyor belt that goes.
So, okay, convert like robot arms building it for me and oh my God. Do you know what? Airports, train stations, hospitals, anywhere in Japan, I could see this totally.
Yeah, because they do it for like noodle bars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In Japan, yeah.
So what do we think about the robot vending restaurant? Come on! That's better than a pine onion. How about you guys? What were you looking at?
Without any land.
So, a restaurant without property, without land, without a building. Go.
We're thinking of maybe we combine like the theory of a taxi and maybe like an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Possibly with food on our like kind of truck. Because we have staff. So we have like lots of people in designated areas driving around with like a food truck.
Nice. Nice. What do we think? Yeah? Do you know, years ago I met a theatre group that lost their theatre. Right? They actually got kicked out of the building. So what they do now is they perform original Australian plays in your front room. How cool is that? So you book them and you set aside a space and you do the catering. They turn up, they do a show, they empty your drink cupboard, they hit on your daughter. Like, it's a great night. But you can see what they say, you know what, we don't need a theatre. Why don't we solve the problem another way? How many of you would say that your grandparents were more resourceful than you? Is that because they had more resources? Nope, it's the exact opposite. It's because they haven't got resources. It forces them to think. What did I take away from you kids over here? Water. Okay, this one's really close to being true. So tell me, what's the idea?
We were going to get the water off our roof and then filter it through a tank and serve it like that.
Nice. Yep.
And we grow all the foods that we serve in water.
Beautiful. So has it got a name? Has it got a thought? What do you reckon?
Really, it's just mussels and beer.
Mussels and beer. Beautiful. What do we think? Yeah. What did I take? Where was my hygiene people? Where's my no hygiene people? Don't take that personally. Okay, go.
So we ended up settling on a space station theme, and all of our food is going to be space food, and it's going to be pre-packed.
Oh, fantastic. And like they have like a Tang list that we can kind of drink from. Fantastic. The Space Food Restaurant. Yes. What happened over here? What did I take away from here?
No power.
No power. Okay, tell me about it.
It was like a honey type of restaurant, so it's like a cuisine.
Yep.
You like bring the food the day before that you want cooked in the ground,
Yep.
and then the next day they come pick it up and you give it to them.
Brilliant. What do we think? Yep. Do you see how that when we just did the first thing that, when I showed you all the crazy questions, you guys had lots and lots of different ideas. Do you see what happens in design? By taking something away, you didn't have lots and lots of ideas, you actually had a bunch of ideas that came together. Can you see the difference? Design's about linking ideas through limitation. What do you think? Is this a technique you guys could use? Yes? I'm going to show you one more. It's what we call a pre-mortem. Does anyone know what a post-mortem is? It's you work out why something failed. A pre-mortem is you work out how something could fail before it fails. So I'm going to give you an idea and I want you to kill it. Right? I want you to do your best to try and kill this lovely, lovely idea that your Uncle Jace has got. So, I've got this idea on how to deal with the housing crisis and homelessness. I've got this great idea. We're going to make homes out like just as boxes, right? And this box would maybe 2 people could live in it, and there's just enough space so that they could cook and clean and sleep and everything else. And that box is available for free, right? So if anybody wants one, you just ask and we give you one. We just turn up in a truck and we stick it wherever you are, right? However, we also sell very cheaply other rooms. So as your family grows and changes, you buy rooms and you stick the thing together. We built an entire international space station like this and we did it in orbit. Could we do it on the ground? And then once the family starts to move away, you can sell the rooms you don't want anymore. You can break off the nursery and you can sell it to the nice couple up the road, so that we don't have to keep building houses and destroying houses and building houses. We could just make these little podules and stick them together as we go. It's a beautiful idea, but it's naive, isn't it? Can you see anything wrong with this idea? What can you see as the dangers of this idea? I'll take bids from anyone in the room. Yeah, you.
It being free.
That bugs you, okay? Free could be a problem. Just the first one's free. The other ones aren't. Just the first one, but still. Okay, cool. Any other problems you can see with this? Yes, ma'am.
It could just break.
If we don't build it properly, it could break. That's dead true. What else? Yeah.
Building homes is expensive, so high production prices for a low profit.
Where have you come from? Oh, I know where you've come from. Okay, it's all making sense to me now. Yes, that's absolutely right. Anything else? Yes, you.
Where would you get the money to build the houses?
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yes, what else?
If we're using that material that we had
Okay, here's what I want you to do. I'm going to give you 5 minutes in teams to kill this idea systematically. Okay, so everyone from my arm to that side, I want you to kill it politically. How is this absolutely politically a disaster? You guys here, I want you to kill it economically, about the money, about the finance. You guys, I want you to kill it socially. I want you to kill it technically. I want you to kill it legally. I want you to kill it environmentally. Do your worst. 5 minutes. Kill it, kill it, kill it. Go. Two, one, time's up. Okay. I'm really keen to get your feedback on this idea because I'm really excited about it and I've got a really good feeling about it. So, tell me, how does this idea look politically? Do you think it's going to work? Tell me, what are some of the problems?
The funding, the laws for the land,
Hang on, whoa. Funding, what else?
the laws for land, like you have to have like
Oh, okay, like zoning, land laws. Yeah, I didn't think about that. What else?
built code
Codes. Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that either. What else?
and the access to utilities.
Very practical stuff. No, I'll give you that. That's cool. What about you kids at the back there? Any other thoughts you want to add to this one? No, he's covered it. Beautiful. Is it okay economically? Does it make sense financially?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, tell me about that.
No money to build the product, like the housing. No money to pay the staff if they're not buying, if no one's buying them.
Right,
If they get given away so quickly, then they're not going to have money to build the first ones.
right.
But,
Okay, so you think we'll run out of cash pretty quickly. What have you got?
So the space, so where you're going to store them, how are you going to get them to people's places,
See,
vehicles?
the space, the storage, I didn't think about any of that.
If you're homeless, you obviously won't have a phone. So how are you going to contact them requesting for one?
They've got phones. Okay. Socially, looks good. What are the problems socially?
If you live in one of them, you might be considered a lower class.
So it'd be like a Lego ghetto kind of a thing. Okay, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there's the class thing. What else? Apart from that, good.
You could be living in a dangerous environment.
Okay. Dangerous environment. Yep. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Dangerous environment. But apart from that, good. What else?
The same.
Sorry.
They all look the same.
They all look the same. That's not going to work. Okay. They all look the same. Okay. Technically, all right. Does it look okay technically as an idea?
Okay, now we put that wiring and plumbing between pots, you can't just put them apart and put them back together.
Wiring and plumbing. Wiring and plumbing. Didn't think about that at all. Anything else?
Timing and energy and shipping costs.
Timing, energy, shipping costs. Okay.
Room
This-
size, you can't have open space living like we all love.
Right. Oh, okay. Room size.
And people will build anywhere in any shape, no reason.
Page 3. Okay. Size, shape, anywhere. All right. Legally, is it okay?
I just got an idea. We didn't do legally, but we did economically. But an idea. What about murder-wise? Criminals could easily, I guess, sounds like they could
Break
easily
off the
go in,
bedrooms,
break in
jump
and
in.
kill these homeless people who don't have a lot. To,
Right. Murder. That sounds pretty bad. So I'm just going to put like murder-wise, just so I'm kind of aware of it. Any legal issues you can foresee?
Planning approval, heritage overlays, entitlements, CFMEU, insurance and building codes.
Okay, this is extremely practical. Thank you very much. Environmentally, come on, it's got to be good environmentally. You're killing me here. It's got to be good for the environment. Go.
Where can you, if you put it in parks and stuff, that'll be taking up space with animals, or you can't just put it smack bang in the middle of the street or
Right.
on
Yeah.
the side of the road. Or,
And it would be very strong, so like they might be washed away and then they get damaged and the bits could come off them.
Okay. So, on balance, do we think this is going well?
No.
Okay, here's the thing. There's a difference between a road sign and a road block. If you drive down a country town, what you're going to see every now and then on the road is like a diamond sign, and it's usually got like a drawing of a wombat on it. Have you seen that? There's no words. It's just a picture of a wombat. So what does that sign mean? Does it mean road closed because of wombats? Or does it mean watch out for wombats?
Watch out.
Right. Have you given me all the reasons why it won't work? Or have you just told me all the things I have to think of to make it work? Yeah, guess what? I know more about this idea than I knew 5 minutes ago. You've just given me a whole bunch of information about how to make this idea stronger. So we said, for example, we don't want them looking all the same. Any ideas about what I could do with that? Maybe not make them look the same. Maybe if they're a little bit flimsy and kind of, murdery. Any ideas about what I could do? Maybe not make them flimsy and murdery. Maybe not stick them in parks. Do you see what I'm doing? You're making my ideas stronger. And this pre-mortem is a great technique for designing, for taking a thought and running it past someone who can tell you all the reasons why it might fail, so you can revisit it and make it work. Does that make some sense to you guys? Yeah. So we've looked at how to generate ideas, and you guys absolutely knew how to do that. With the restaurant, we looked at how to turn ideas into plans by putting limitations. You totally figured out how to do that. We just did a pre-mortem, and you guys did it like pros. And we also looked at how to evaluate ideas against the value of the idea and the effort involved. Is there anything here you guys can use in your jobs, in your school, in your life, or in your new entrepreneurial ventures? What do you think? Yes or no? Yes. And here, my friends, is a picture of what the year's going to look like. We're here. We're just starting to play in the imagined space. And I'm going to get Jen and Heather will come and talk you through this, but we're going to start moving slowly into development, and then into evaluation, and then finally into pitching. Are you guys up for this? Yes. Yes? All right, let's have a great year. Thank you very much.